as much as I appreciate their opinion. I can't change my principles as a culture man. It's so critical. I love carnival, but my country means everything to me. I ask not what she can do for me, but what can I do for my country under the sun? When all is said and done, the evidence will be written in history. Oh yeah, that this little Calypsonian was one out of a million, but the culture always trumped the man. I say the culture bigger than the man. Yeah. Hey, hey. Whoa, 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 yeah, yeah. 25 years now in the race, all you getting is second place. Would you please tell us what is wrong? You sang songs about South Africa, you sang songs about Sweet Grenada, and for heaven, they wouldn't give you a crumb. Well, it seems like they're just ignoring your qualities. Or is it because you are not politically? We search hard but can't find a reason why you never reach number one. So leave the damn thing for fungus and the gang. It's so critical. I love carnival, but my country means everything to me. I ask not what she can do for me, but what can I do for my country under the sun? When all is said and done, the evidence will be written in history. So in spite of the position, I'm receiving competition. I know the culture always trump the man. The culture bigger than the man. Whoa, whoa. La da da da, oh. Hey. Whoa, whoa. We know you got what it takes, but it's time to give them a break. Like the king, man, make you famous side. It is true that we recognize all your hard work and sacrifice, but don't let them take you for no ride. You should take your talent and sweet voice to Trinidad, and without a doubt we know you will get some reward. But if you let them bias people keep on treating you how they want, quite pretty soon you will become irrelevant. It's so critical. I love carnival, but my country means everything to me. I ask not what she can do for me, but what Randy Isaac can do for this beautiful country under the sun. When all is said and done, the evidence will be written in history. So let them spread their grammazon and poison up the land. I know the culture always trump the man. Oh, the culture bigger than the man. Let them know. Oh, mommy. Hey. Hey, hey, hey. Mommy, oh, oh, oh. I've seen so many superstars throw their hands up and retire as a result of judges' decision. Some now living in seclusion, they won't make a contribution, not one song when carnival come. But as a true culture man, I must set the record straight. Since 1986, each year I participate. So I refuse to let them haters make me run and hide on the ground. Why one day Congo Day, my time will come. It's so critical. I love carnival, but my country means everything to me. I ask not what she can do for me, but what Randy Isaac can do for this beautiful country under the sun. When all is said and done,
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
Oh, yo, 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 yo. Give me flowers now. Everybody knows that many heroes has lived and died among us, but it's only after the dead and gone they seem to get some recognition. But while some of them live, they suffer and grieve for basic necessities, and then to add more insult to injuries, they grind long tears for the disease. But not to study them when you hear they opening up their mouth, no. When Neri was alive, a roasted fruit was his only growth. But on the day he passed away, so many nice things did he say. I had to wonder if it's the same person they was talking about. I don't want no happy hour, no light candles on me head. No, no. Give me flowers before I dead. No crocodile tears, enough of that heart they shed. I said to give me flowers before I dead. Before I dead. Before I dead. I said to give me flowers before I dead. You could say I'm a good man right now. Do it now, no, no. Andre Fletcher, Uriah Peters, David Beckett, Woods and Waditi, Ajamo Junior Murray and Calgary, Mr. Killer and Kirani, Shoma Wells, Lou Smith, Timothy Atwine, and Kitisha, just to name a few. Whether or not you like Dr. Keith Mitchell, he made a great contribution too. So we have to pay tribute to the local heroes we have right here. Give them the honor they deserve before they disappear. Try to do it in advance if you don't want no guilt on your conscience. After they're dead and gone, what you do as they have no importance. So give me now instead cocoa, tea, fish, cake and bread. Give me flowers before I dead. Don't wait till I gone. You say I was nice like Father Ed. Just give me flowers before I dead. Before I dead. Before I dead. Give me flowers before I dead. I'm hungry right now. Will you feed me now? Will you recognize me now? When I finish my little mission here and my father tell me come home, you would not be able to help me there because I'll be standing alone. But if I'm hungry now, you could feed me, or you could wait till I starve to death. Then blow your nose while they're reading me. You are Rochi, you must stop the damn disrespect. The ordinary people like me and you could be heroes too, yeah. The selfless sacrifices we make for a total stranger's sake. The ones we take for granted and we never appreciate. After they gone to the great beyond, you know that it is too late. So leave no stone unturned. No effort must be spared. So give me flowers before I die. No procrastinating, and don't even say I dread. Just give me flowers before I die. Before I die. Oh,
is not politics. Please don't forget, I'm just practicing to be a poet. Not qualified as yet, but have no fear. I'm gonna get there. I'm not in this world to live up to your expectation. Neither are you in to live up to mine. I don't owe no one, no obligation.
And a good night to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique once again. It is time for Talking Points. My name, Sheldon Scott. I will be taking you up until the 10 o'clock hour tonight. It is Talking Points. And we're getting ready to rumble. Just making sure everything is in order.
Serious business. There is a time for everything. And for everything there is a season. So man and man must reason. So I think it's prime time that we address some more issues.
Saying a special good night to those of you listening via 91.9, 91.5, Real FM. Those of you listening over there in Brooklyn via 94.9, We Noise Radio. Also, they've got the app. Yeah, the We Noise Radio app, so you can listen there. They've got the website, you can listen there. We've got the Talking Points website, so you could listen there.
I remember you say Liberation Day, and I ask.
You could listen via the WeFM website.
It sounded so good to believe.
And of course, we're on YouTube and Facebook.
When you lose your rightful thinking, so we voted for the blame.
I might be adding a little two more things soon, you understand? Yeah, we're always updating, eh? We're closing in on our 1 year anniversary of Talking Points. Yeah, pretty soon we'll be celebrating our 1 year anniversary of having Talking Points on air.
What everybody say, cell phone ring, man answering, yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house get yellow, bus get yellow, man get yellow, even green get yellow, and so says 11-4.
So let me say a special good night to all of you. I see Agnes Henry, Carl Jones on the YouTube. Kevin, I see Gemma Warwood, Kashima Roberts, Phyllis Mitchell, Kathleen Ledlow, Matthew Bowen, Maria Noel, Faithlyn Halley Douglas, Cynthia Bartholomew, Sherma, Jeremiah, and Zayla. Good night to you. Gavin Thomas, Michelle Alexander, Miriam Samuel. Miriam, how are you doing, my dear? I hope everything is all well and okay with you over there in London. Public notice, Jacinta Livingston, my dear. Realize you're still around. Nice. Alban Harris, Jackie Raymond, Kim Creedland, Deborah Laborde, Baby Daddy, Marlon Panchu, Christine Otley, Maud Martin, Good Life, Elsie Peters, Jenna Benjamin, Dominic Leroy, Clive Raymond, good night to you, Frederick Noel, Jenna Benjamin, Anne-Marie Celestine Grant, Frederick Noel, Bala, go Papa.
Economic recession, the cause of poverty in the land. Economic recession.
Yes, I said there's some work going around, so the dust, yeah, it's circulating every now and again. And it's fine, so it's hard to get rid of. Janice Mitchell, Jacinta Arms, let me see, Kenny Buckmeyer. I see you there, Gloria Francois. Hey, Gloria Francois, how you doing? Cindy Thomas, Ann Andrews, Dominic Antoine, Kathleen Knights, Maria Noel, Jerome Lewis, Hillary Joseph, Eliza Bernard, Bernie Ramsey, Listra Abraham, Angie, let me see if Lynn Abby Douglas, I see you there again, right? Oswald Belfon, Christopher Johnson, Ivor Holas, Teddy Bear, what's up, brother? Dolores Redhead, Adrian Watts, Dennis Bain, Errol Bonaparte, Raphael Jr. Williams, Lydia Isaac, Anastasia Peterson. I sort of lost it there for a while. Let me see. Lydia Isaac, Sandra Pascal, good night to you, Nexalia. Ron Julian, Veronica Lewis, Devin James, Fitzroy Phillip, Stephen Simon, Gianna Marina. Good night to each and every one of you. Anybody that I've missed, as usual, it is not on purpose. And good night to you, my good friend Zoe. I know you and Alan Jones and Mommy. I know all of you are listening. So a special good night to you all. All right. And yeah, I know. It's not the warm water, it's that some of the dust, because of what's taking place, it's seeping into the studio and it's circulating in the air. So it kind of throws me off. Yeah. So Cindy Charles, Red Girl Pascal, Linda Imelda Francois, Diana Romney, Cicely Celestine, and Micah Vento, Ashley Lewis out there in Los Angeles. Good night, bro. Kenrick Gordon, Christine Adams. Good night to you, my cuz. Angela Russell, Sonny Green, Phyllis Ramsey, Nakisha Jones, Dennis Fabio, and Joseph, Claude Abraham, Charmaine Ragbasing, Charmaine, hey, Teresa Colimo, Wallan Akwat. All right, Tegwa, good night to you. Yvonne George, Laslyn Douglas, Errol Bonaparte, Glenda Robinson, Dana Abraham, Jamari Auntie, nice, good night to you. Raw Lewis, and that Junior George, Cicely Julian, let me see who's there, Winnie Simon, good night to you. Margaret Horsford, and Shauna Sampson, and Yolan Mitchell Moraine, Joan Henry, and Valma McIntosh. Good night to you. Barbara Roberts, good night to you as well. Jocelyn Matheson, I see you there. Dean Joseph, Ruth Thomas, Dwight Ferguson, Mavis Mitchell, Kathy Pope, good night. Gillian Prescott, Kathy Pope, Javon say waiting for your happy birthday. Right. Wallan Akwad, good night to all of you on the live. Joyce, I know you're listening out there in Trinidad, so a special good night to each and every one of you. Let me just grab some water, make sure everything okay with the throat, huh?
You know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever? Not even things created by the great Jehovah. So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one
yeah, I think that should do it.
If we didn't know, we never know yellow would have treated us so. When you trick us with
so just remember, we kind of didn't finish. Yeah, we've got more stuff to talk about tonight. Yeah, so we talk about Mr. Eno and his $5,000 a month contract last night. So you never know, we might be able to talk about other contract tonight. Nice? Yeah, we ain't finished. We didn't empty out everything from the envelope. Policy, it still have weight. There are other things inside there. Nice, yeah.
Past administration, chief of corruption. Then to economic recession.
Let me see you all like and share. Let me see the numbers going up there. Like and share the live. It's 16 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. Let's get cracking.
For the ordinary man. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain.
Let me say a special good night to Dr. Julie Dubois.
How is the country going? Oh, fine. We are looking into it. Never mind.
Yes, I know you returned to the island this afternoon, my dear. Yes, welcome home.
Temperature.
Well done.
Please answer that. Oh, soon. Maybe by the next full moon. Although things are turning at a very slow pace, we now run no race. 5 years is a lot of space. It's just a few hungry people in a place and a few disgruntled grim people with their vexed face.
The more as I go around St. George on a daily basis, I don't usually get a chance to head out into the other parishes on a regular basis as before. Before, I would try to make it to St. David and St. Andrew, St. Mark, St. John, everybody, I would try to reach around. But these days, due to mobility issues, I'm usually relegated to being in town. Yeah? But the more I speak with folks, and folks from all over the island, they continue to be very concerned about the issues of things like the housing issue that is taking place. Yeah? You continue to hear stories of people who have approached the financial institutions who are saying that they have not completed discussions with the housing authority in relation to this. And remember, we're speaking of a situation here where folks have been given a specified time in which to respond. Yeah, they've been given a specified time within which they ought to respond to the housing authority in relation to the houses that they are being offered. So let me just see if I can pull this up here. No, not this one. Let me just make sure I have the right one here. yeah, they have been given a specific amount of time within which they are supposed to respond to the housing authority. And let me just pull that up so that you can see what I'm speaking about here. Yeah, for instance, this is one of the letters that went out. And please note that the offer to purchase must be accepted on or before October 17th. And the vast majority of the letters are similar. The timeline is similar. It gives you a little over 2 weeks, not fully just 2 weeks, but a little over 2 weeks to respond to the housing authority. That is when you're supposed to come back with your money and do your purchase. You get to see the apartment in between and that kind of thing. You're getting to see it. But these are the letters, the offer letters that were sent out. Yeah? This particular one, if I remember correctly, is in Carriacou. Right? So these letters, and you can see here, please note that the offer to purchase must be accepted on or before October 17, 2023. So this individual who has been given this letter has up until next week Tuesday. Yeah, up until next week Tuesday to accept. Yeah, they have to find that in their case, let's see, it's going to be, let me see if I can pull that up. In their case, it's going to be, let me just make sure I have it here. Yes, $73,000. They have to find that, right? They've got to find that within that space of time. Yeah? If they have it, it's all well and good. But they have to find that within that space of time. Right? So they've got to find that $73,000 for this unit. In this case, it's in Carriacou. The letter was issued, well, that's the date that they printed the letter, is September 29th, but not necessarily the date that the person received the letter. And they've got to ensure that they've got that money. Remember, you can't make a part payment. You've got to pay fully. You've got to pay everything one time. You can't make a part payment. You can't go to them with $50,000 and say, here it is, Housing Authority. We've got $50,000. Yeah? So can we pay down $50,000 and we will get that remainder, the $23,000 remaining, we'll get it to you afterwards. No, you can't do that. You've got to go with the full amount, the $73,000 or no deal. All right? And you've got a limited amount of time to do that. But I'm saying that in the context of, I was listening to the chairman of the board of directors of the Housing Authority of Grenada. I was listening to him and I was kind of concerned when I heard what he said in relation to the financial institutions, because the impression I got from what he was saying is that they have not yet completed discussions with the financial institutions. In other words, I've just shown you where they issued letters to people giving them a specific amount of time to go to these financial institutions and to provide the funding, to get the funding from these financial institutions to purchase the homes. The people have gotten the letters. I just shown you one of the letters. Yet still, from what he was saying yesterday morning on the GBN morning program with Gordon Joseph, Innocent, what he was saying yesterday, it seems as though they have not yet finalized the issue of what is being offered and how much the credit unions, they haven't finalized all that. And in fact, don't take my word for it. Hear what he is saying for himself. Hear what he's saying for himself. Not holding the envelope until a little, right, we're putting the envelope later. But here's what he was saying yesterday.
Now, what we have asked the financial institutions is that please cater for persons who are self-employed, in that don't do the loans that they have to pay every month. You could probably change it up to every 3 months, every 4 months, twice a year, because when they get that lump sum, they can come in and pay. So we have asked them, it's up to the financial institution, but we have asked them, just as how NIS has gotten to the point where self-employed people paying NIS could come in and pay in chunks rather than every month. So that is on board. We have had 2 credit unions coming back to us immediately and saying, hey, you're going to get it under 5%. Probably closely around 4, a little bit under 4%. So they're very close to what I'm talking about here. in the one that is $73,000, if you take it for 30 years, and they're willing to give 30 years, you will only pay at 3% $308
per month.
per month.
Okay.
All right? But even at 4%, you'll be able to pay about just around $400 or a little less than that. All right? Per month. So it depends on where you are. If you tell the financial institutions that I could only pay $350, they will decide with the interest rate how many years they could give you for that. It's not so hard. No, the others haven't come back to us yet, and we're waiting for NIS and the other regular banks and so forth to come back. But we know for sure you can get up to 30 years. We know for sure all they're asking you for, like couple of the credit unions, is your job letter. And you, just as how you fill out in the bank, what are your liabilities? In other words, what are your expenses for the month?
Your budget.
Your budget,
Yeah.
right? Some might ask you to join, and others might not ask you to join. They just get it straight off.
So yeah, folks, you've heard him. You recognize several things he said there. The banks are offering and the credit unions are offering. In fact, he said 2 credit unions came back to them. 2 credit unions came back and they said they're not going for the 3%. No, they're not offering 3%. Yeah, they are offering it at under 5%. But it wouldn't be 3%. So it's more looking kind of 4-ish. 4%, maybe at 3.5, maybe at 3.9, or 4%, or maybe even a 4.5% or whatever. But it's going to be under 5, but it's not going to be 3. Yeah? I mean, that also indicates that it could be lower than 3, but no, they gave a cutoff point. So you're looking more like at 4%. Yeah, that people will have to pay back to these credit unions. He's also said that the NIS, a fellow statutory body, that means the left hand ain't know what the right hand doing, because Housing Authority of Grenada is a statutory body. The NIS is also a statutory body. So they didn't think that it was important to have that discussion early with the national insurance scheme that, hey, this is what we're going to do. Because I heard several months ago, since earlier this year, I have been hearing that this would be the approach in relation to the homes, that they would be asking people to go out, take loans, and come and purchase the homes outright. That is what I was hearing from since earlier this year. So it means that that idea has been floated for quite a while. Yet still, Massa Bull didn't decide to talk to Massa Cow. So NIS still hasn't come back to them yet. And he says the financial institutions, the other financial institutions, have not come, but the commercial banks. In other words, ACB Bank, I think that's the name, ACB, I don't know, I don't mark with them. ACB Bank, Republic Bank, Cooperative Bank, he said the banks have not come back to them yet. Yet still, remember what I showed you a short while ago. The people who have been given these letters have been given a specific time to come in by October 17th. And he's saying, as of yesterday, October the 9th, that the financial institutions have not come back to them yet. That they have not heard back from the commercial banks, that they have not heard back from the NIS and probably the Grenada Development Bank, because I see they have them down. Yeah, look, they have them down here as one of the entities that people could get a loan from. I know how that working out, because when certain ministers take all the money outside. But remember, this is what he said.
It depends on where you are. If you tell the financial institutions that I could only pay $350, they will decide with the interest rate how many years they could give you for that. It's not so hard. No, the others haven't come back to us yet, and we're waiting for NIS and the other regular bank. It's not so hard. No, the others haven't come back to us yet, and we're waiting for NIS and the other regular banks and so forth to come back. It's not so hard. No, the others haven't come back to us yet, and we're waiting for NIS and the other regular banks and so forth to come back. But we know for sure you can get up to 30 years. We know for sure.
So they're still waiting for the banks. They said 2 of the credit unions, there are many credit unions in Grenada. You have Communal, Communal, you have Nexus, you have Ariza, you have Grenville Credit Union, you have several credit unions. Yeah, they said 2 have come back to them and said that, yes, this is the case, you can get it, but it won't be at that 3%. Move here with that 3% thing, or they're telling us that ain't happening. You're going to have to pay more. All right? You're going to have to pay, definitely the people are going to have to pay more than that. And he keeps harping on that 30-year. Not everyone will qualify for a 30-year loan. No lending institution is going to give you a loan where a significant portion of the repayment is going to happen after you are retired. That is not going to happen. Let's just be straight up and honest about this. No financial institution is going to give you a loan where a significant portion of the repayment is going to take place during your retirement. Yeah? That's just the case. That's just how it is. And remember, ACB Bank and Republic Bank, they have to answer to their board of directors outside of Grenada. Those are the people here in Grenada is one thing, yeah. But they also have to answer to their headquarters. I think in the case of ACB, I think it's in Antigua. And in the case of, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not absolutely sure in relation to that bank. But when it comes to Republic Bank, I believe their headquarters is in Trinidad. And they have to answer to their shareholders, they have to answer to their board of directors. So if they go and they get themselves tied up in something here that causes the bank to lose money, they are going to be in problems. People are going to lose their work over here if that is the case, if your loan portfolio is not properly managed. Yeah? So here it is. We have the chairman, after they give out letters to people with a short time frame saying, well, we talked to them, go and check them. And people going to check them now and hearing from them, well, no, these people and them may really talk to us on that and that way. No, we can't do that for all your day. No, because they cannot. Yeah? I'm not saying that some people may not have that sort of financial backing. They may have enough money. They may have enough money inside a bank. They to make a down payment towards the loan or whatever it is. They may have a good record with the bank in relation to their savings and all of that the bank may consider giving them a loan in a situation like this. But to continue harping on 30 years, how many people in their 40s, and 40 is still pretty young, how many people in their 40s are going to be given the opportunity to get a 30-year loan? They barely would like to give that to people in their 30s right now. They barely want to do that, much less to people in their 40s. So you're really speaking, there only are people in their 20s and that kind of thing that may be able to secure a 30-year loan. Right? Because they barely even want to give it to people in their 30s, much less people in their 40s, and forget it if you're in your 50s because you're closing in on retirement. They won't give you a 30-year loan with a 30-year repayment that your monthly repayments are going to be that small. So he needs to stop that nonsense. We're speaking reality here. This is not theoretical. This is not theory as in yes, that is how it can work. We've gotten to the stage that it have to work right now. And what he's saying is craziness. So we're hearing him saying yesterday that the financial institutions have not gotten back to them yet, including one that is a statutory body. In other words, that is also technically a part of government. So if you're having that discussion, you're telling me nobody thought it prudent to discuss this with the National Insurance Scheme? Nobody thought it prudent to discuss that with them? Yes, I see they're advertising. The National Insurance Scheme is advertising for loans and that sort of thing. They're trying to expand their loan portfolio, right? So I see them advertising and so. But yet still remember, they would still have to look at what your payments you have to make otherwise are on a monthly basis. What your salary is, and according to what your salary is, your electricity, your water, your other utilities, your food bill, your transportation bill, all of those things. And then the life insurance and health insurance and those sort of things that you may have. And you definitely will need a life insurance policy if they're going to give you that kind of money. Plus, remember, you're going to have the additional burden on you of having to pay the property insurance. Important, if you're buying something like that, I would always, under no circumstance would I say that you get one of these apartments and you don't have homeowners insurance against different things, natural or man-made. Yeah? I would definitely say get that. Even flood insurance, them, even though it's up on the second story, whatever, still get flood insurance and those kind of things, because you never could tell when a mains might burst or something and the place flood out. Get the insurance. I would never say no. But I'm saying he's giving the impression that there's all well and good and easy and anybody could just walk into one of these financial institutions and that you're going to get a loan. And that's not the case. It is definitely not the case. We're going to open the phone lines. As usual, the overseas line is down. I don't know what do my technical guy he can't reach. So the overseas line is still down, but you can call us on 440-7377. You can call us on 440-7377. You know, also, I wanted you all to hear something else that he had to say. And I found the statement to be very interesting. I found it to be very, very interesting. It seems as though he believes that these houses are too good for the people who originally it was intended for. And I'll tell you, let me play this for you. You tell me what you think of what he is saying here, right? You tell me your view of what he is saying here. And let me just play that for you. Let me just make sure my volume is up. Right, so let me just play this for you.
Ultimately, with condominiums, there is a maintenance issue. Personally, I don't believe they work well in the lower income bracket. I think condominiums, when you look at it in the States and stuff, it works better in a higher income bracket because people know they have to pay maintenance costs. All right, regardless of what you pay for the condominium.
I tend to take that as in you ain't think them place should be for normal people. Anyway, we have a call online. Good night. Hi, good night. Hello?
Yes.
Oh boy, caller, you'll have to hang up and call back because something is definitely wrong with the connection. I'm not hearing you properly. So you'll have to hang up and call back. Yeah, that caller, you'll have to hang up and call back. Something is definitely wrong with the connection there. I can barely hear what you were saying. So give us a call back, and I lost the call on the WhatsApp. Give us a call back, please. I hope that you're hearing me. Give us a call back. The connection was bad, so I could not hear what you were saying. Yeah, I get the impression that what he's saying is that them house too good for people in the lower income bracket. We have a call online. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Tell me, you say about a person in the 20s. How much persons in the 20s have a permanent job to qualify for that?
Well, that is the next problem.
That is another issue again, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
That's another issue. I tell you already, these houses would be given to people in the diaspora. That is why I said, I don't want to hear about them. The house was not built for them. So let housing authority come back and discuss that with us. Let them have forum there.
Oh boy, caller, you're having a difficult time hearing what you're saying, eh?
Okay.
And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it's on my end or your end.
Well, on my end is very good.
Okay, now I'm hearing you, yeah.
Yes. So the people in the diaspora, the housing authority have to come back to us and discuss this thing because they ain't ready for us here yet. All right.
All right, my brother. Thank you. Yeah, I find, listen it again. Is he saying that these houses are too good for average Grenadians, that this should be for high income earners, that it should not be for low income earners, but it should be for upper middle income and upper income earners. Listen again.
Ultimately, with condominiums, there is a maintenance issue. Personally, I don't believe they work well in the lower income bracket. I think condominiums, when you look at it in the States and stuff, it works better in a higher income bracket because people know they have to pay maintenance costs. All right? Regardless of what you pay for the condominium.
Well, at least that's what I'm picking up from it. I don't know what you all are picking up from it. We've got a call online. Good night. Hello? Caller, you're live. Go right ahead.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, good night. Yes, sir.
This man speaking is bull.
No, Bull is my partner in River Road.
Houses now is 20 years, you pay $175. 15 years, you pay about $250. And 10 years, you're paying $315. So what he's saying there is about the same thing. There is just both. Thank you.
All right, my brother. And you see, we have to remember that what you're speaking about as your monthly payments are not just that payment, but the other payments that are attached to it. So trying to give the impression that this is an easy thing is not. Again, the caller, just how many people in their 20s are going to go to one of those financial institutions and get a loan for 70-something thousand or 50-something $1,000? How many? Yeah. How many have that stable job for an extended period of time? Because if you go to the bank and the bank realize that this person changing job every 3 months or every 6 months, they're changing job, or every year they're changing jobs or so, they don't see you as stable, they're going to think that you're a risk. They're not going to give you a loan. It's the same like if you're going for a visa. If you're going for a visa, I see some people doing their visa applications. They put that they was working about 10 different places. You go for your visa, you ain't getting no visa. Because the Americans are going to look at it and they're going to say, this person is unstable. And therefore, whatever job they have now, they may just go in the States and decide they're staying and not come back to that job because they're not stable. Yeah? But some people think the more jobs that they put on an application, the more that people are going to think that this is a person you should hire because they have a lot of work experience. No. People who are looking to employ, when they look at your job application and they see you work about 9 places, they say, no, I can't hire this person. The person isn't stable. They're transient. They're just going to be passing through here, and next minute they're going about their business. Yeah? So it's the same thing with the banks. Right? How many young people in their 20s have been working long enough, have been able to save enough to be able to get that? And then by the time you reach in your 30s, you're talking of, if you have a 30-year loan, it's going to carry you up right to about the point in time that you're going to retire, and forget it if you're in your 40s, you're not getting any 30-year loan when you're in your 40s. You're not getting it. Yeah, 10, 15 years, maybe. 30 years, ain't happening. Yeah, that's just reality. The phone lines are open, 440. I know someone was trying to call me on the WhatsApp. Let me see if I can get the call back, that individual on the WhatsApp. Yeah, the dust is becoming a problem for me tonight. Yeah, I do have to sort that issue out. Good night.
Good night. I was trying to call very long.
Yes, I realize. That's why I called back. Go right ahead, caller.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question. Like, I am a farmer.
Mm-hmm.
Did I ever qualify to get a loan in the bank?
Well, that would depend on
get a house.
That would depend on various things. Farmers are some of the most wealthy people, in many countries.
Because you know, sometimes it's not right through. You could get you just have crop to sell, right? So, and then the next point I want to ask you, if you're in your 50s and you really want a houses, you will get qualify in the bank to get a loan.
If you get a loan, it's going to be a very short-term loan. They're going to try to make sure that you pay it off before you reach the age of retirement. You remember the retirement age is going up within the public service, at least. The retirement age is going up to 65, I believe. over a period of time. Next year, I think it's supposed to raise to 62. So the bank would be looking at that as well, according to if you're working within the public service.
What about you have a job and you're owning you're owning like $1,000 or $1,008, like $1,200 a month? You will get a loan?
No, I think what the bank would look at, they would look at what's your expenditure. How much of that $1,000 do you have to spend on a monthly basis on basic things, things that you must spend on. They would look at that. Then they would look at your pattern of saving. If you have been saving, if you're the kind of person that, yes, I'm getting $1,000, but each month I make sure and I put $200 on the account. Each month I put $200 on the account. They would be looking at that. If they see that you're a person that has a habit of saving and you have significant savings already accumulated, they may consider, but I don't see them, for a person working for $1,000 or $1,008, I don't see them giving such a person $50,000 or $70-something thousand. I don't see that happening.
Well,
I don't see that happening.
Well, it's a hard thing to go through this thing. It's a very hard thing to go through.
Some folks will get through.
Very hard thing to go through. Anyhow, good night.
All right, thank you.
I just want to get it straight.
Yes, thank you very much. And I'm not saying nobody will get through. Some folks go get through. They might have the links. They might have a credit union. They might have had the habit of insuring, because credit unions encourage you to do that. They encourage you to form a habit of saving so that you go in, and whether it's $50 a month or in this instance bi-monthly, you make sure that you put your $50 there. They make sure that you do that. Right? You're going in and you're putting your $50 and that kind of thing. If they see you form that habit of saving, the same with the commercial banks. If they see that you have a habit of putting money in, and not just putting it in and take it out, but putting money onto the account and building up savings, they may consider. But how many people are able to do that? You know that you go to the supermarket last month with $700. You know what you got for $700. You try going to the supermarket by next month with the same $700 and you realize significantly your trolley has shrunk, that you're not able to get as much because the cost of living continues to increase. Yeah? We've already had increase in the water rates. You see the fluctuations when it comes to the electricity rates and the gas price and all these sort of things. So these things tend to be going up, and especially with what you see taking place in the Middle East, we have to hope that it does not expand into a wider conflict. Yeah? You have to be watching home, but you have to be watching outside too, So you have to hope that what is taking place in the Middle East right now, right, in Israel, does not expand into a wider conflict, because you hear them speaking of the possibility that Iran had a hand in what is taking place. You're hearing that. And if they decide that they're going to have a preemptive strike on Iran or anything like that, or it becomes a conflict between the two, it is going to further drive the cost of oil up, and as such, the price of fuel and everything else. So we have to hope. Also, you're going into the winter months when the usage in the northern hemisphere in relation to oil and gas and heating oil, all these things, LPG, goes sky high because they're trying to warm the place. They're heading into the winter months. Yeah? So because they're using more, it tends to drive the cost up as well. And the oil-producing countries, OPEC, they are not going to do things to drive the cost down. Every now and again, they're going to cut production, because if there's less of it, then you're willing to pay more for the less that's there. And they manipulate it in that way. Saudi Arabia and all these countries, Qatar and all of them, they manipulate the price of fuel like that, especially going into the winter months. Yeah, they'll make sure there's enough, but they'll make sure that you have to pay a premium price for it. So we have to be looking at all of those things, because they are indirectly and directly going to affect the cost of living here. Yeah, even if it's the cornflakes or whatever it is that's made overseas and brought in. Even if it's something that's made here, but some of the stuff to make it is being brought in. then the cost of production, the cost of electricity and so on, if you're not into solar power and so on yet, the cost of production is going to waver from times because of the cost of electricity. All of these things have to be taken into consideration, and don't think that the banks aren't watching at these things too. Don't think that the credit unions, and their loan committees and so are not watching at these things too. They have to take things in its entirety. It's not simply a case of you want a loan, we give you. It's not simply a case of that. Right? It is a case where you have to pay attention to everything. Good night, my good friend. You have to realize that it is a case that they have to pay attention to these various items. There was one more thing that he said, and I'm wondering if he's a thinking person, how he could make a statement like that. But then again, as I said, I don't always accuse people of things, because me, at the end of the day, I do have luck. I don't have luck, because this goes directly against what he's saying here, goes directly against why the houses were obtained in the first place. So let me just play something here quickly for you. Let me just play this one quickly for you.
And you should ask yourself, why does a nation have to wait till a foreign body give them buildings for home, and the nation can build it for themselves?
Well, not necessarily homes, houses.
Houses.
Because there's a difference between
a house and a home.
Yes.
Right? A nation's supposed to be able to take care of its at some level, to take care of persons.
Let me play that again before I say what I say say what I have to say in relation to it.
Why does a nation have to wait till a foreign body give them buildings for home, and the nation can build it for themselves?
Well, not necessarily homes, houses.
Houses.
Because there's a difference between
a house and a home.
Yes.
Right? A nation's supposed to be able to take care of its at some level, to take care of persons.
And I'm not saying no, that a nation doesn't have to be able to take care of persons and that sort of thing. But if you're referring to the houses that were secured by the Chinese, let us remember over 80% of our housing was damaged. We came out from Hurricane Ivan. It was a situation that our agricultural production was decimated. We could not have a tourism industry for a while because the hotels were destroyed or seriously damaged. Our infrastructure was damaged. We had the worst hurricane in nearly 50 years pass through the island. And as such, Grenada had to resort for help from other countries. That is how we had to get those houses from the Chinese. So it is worrying to me when I hear the chairman of the Housing Authority making a statement like that. It's worrying because it shows a lack of understanding of where these houses came from in the first place. They came from when Dr. Mitchell, former Prime Minister, together with the late Elvin Nimrod, and that delegation went up to China. Let's take this call and we'll come back to that. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. Hello? Okay, it seems as though that caller hung up. So I'm saying there was a situation where there was dire need for housing in the state of Grenada. Your economy had just been decimated. Your agriculture, gone. Tourism, gone. You still had some students here from School of Medicine, but that was problems. Many of them left the island for a period of time after that and came back when things settled down. Some stayed, some left and came back afterwards when things settled down after Hurricane Ivan. But it was not a situation of business as normal. And that is the reason. That is the reason that you had to get assistance to do housing in Grenada. You could not do it on your own. So to come and make us, and this is the person that's managing the Housing Authority of Grenada making a statement like that. It shows a lack of understanding of the historical context in which these houses were procured. In other words, he don't understand how we get them. 440-7377. That's a 440-7377. That is the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. We have a call online. Good night.
Shalom.
Yes, sir.
Good night, Bo.
Yes, sir.
I can't believe a human being making a statement like that. This man drink or what?
I'm not accusing him. I'm not accusing him of drinking.
Crazy or what? These people and them just don't like poor people and they just don't like this country. This man crazy. So if we get in America to build 3,000 houses for us, we are taking it. What wrong with this man? Mr. Man, go and sleep. Come out there, you don't deserve it. NBC, get out of Grenada. Get out. A little good. Thank you, sir.
All right, sir. Yeah, I'm saying that the context in which those houses were obtained was that you had a hurricane. Those of us who are elder enough would remember. Yeah? So it's not a case that Grenada was sitting there and just waiting for people. You had Fincor and all these things that built houses before in Grenada. That is not the first set of houses that was built. You had housing projects that were built over the years. In Grenada, the Diamond Housing Project, you had Granance Housing Scheme, all these things that were built during the Revo and all these other times. You had housing projects that were developed and built here in Grenada, some public-private partnerships, etc. During Gary days, you have the River Road Housing Project, all these things that were built. Yeah? So it is not a situation that the government has just been sitting down waiting for other people to come and build houses. We had a hurricane, a Category 3. Yeah? That a lot of people still ain't even get over up to this day. We've got a call online. Good night. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, my dear.
I believe I just second that caller who called it because I was just messing in my pants. These two guys and them that sit down there talking it. They know what I said?
My goodness. They obviously, and I won't say they, in particular, the chairman of the board of the Housing Authority. I don't think this guy know what he's talking about. I honestly don't believe he does. Yeah? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead, caller. You're there. Go ahead.
I can't understand these two guys sit down there talking them nonsense. What part of planet Earth they living on?
Oh, my.
My goodness. And he's supposed to be heading this organization? This department? That's crazy. Good night.
All right, my dear. Thank you. And let me say this as well. Huh? Again, I'll repeat what I said last night in relation to a particular aspect of this. Yeah? There was a caller last week, and the caller posed a question. And sometimes a caller may call and they may ask a question, and I may not respond in the way probably they're looking for me to respond, but sometimes the question is there and it's working its way, and they asked the question, what is going to be done with the money? Yeah? What is going to be done with the money, that is coming in? And we have a caller online. Hello, good night. Hello? Hello?
Hey.
Yeah, go right ahead, caller.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, I'm good, man. You're live. Go right ahead.
So I listening to people talking, and people in position. I wonder, well, how the Caribbean people looking at us when they hear this man talking this kind of stupidness? I mean, you say he's the chairman?
Yeah, he's the chairman of the board of directors of the Housing Authority.
Kind of stupidness? They came from space or something?
Well, here's this. Dominica had the hurricane. They got assistance from other countries to build houses for the people and so on. They didn't sit down and wait. They had a natural disaster. We are in the hurricane belt. So they got assistance. So to give the impression that some government was sitting down here and waiting for people to build houses. Remember, we still have close to 1,000 houses that we should be getting, And I hear them talking about that on none of the interviews.
But so I never see our government run so negative in my born life. I mean, I've been here for a while. I've never seen a government run so negative in my born life. I mean, these men have been doing nothing with decency. Only a set of old talking a set of stupidness and making people shame. when we look at the Caribbean people have quality people, and Grenadians have quality people. I don't know where them quality people gone. They said that baboon only talking. I said that trouble all over the place and making people shame, man. Now have a good night.
All right, my brother. 4407377. That is the number. I think we have a caller online. Let me just clear it. Hello, good night. Hello?
Good night, boss. How you doing?
You see, that's the voice. That's the same caller that asked me that question last week. That's the same caller that asked me the question, what would the money be used for?
Yeah, Sheldon, good night. How you doing?
I'm good, brother.
Nice.
Right ahead.
I like people. I mean, at the end of the day, people to be patient. I know the last 3-4 callers, I respect everybody's view in a sense. But at the end of the day, we just have to pray for the people who make those kind of drastic comments, because many of us who grew up with hardline life and really have nothing, and we have to work for everything that we have today. Thank God for it, And we just have to pray to God the Almighty that He bless them with some more wisdom and understanding when they come on our podium next time. They make some decent comments, and not just for people to hear, but ask God that He put the right people in place, the right decision, because we see the world today as it's going, right? As it's very crazy. It's very, very crazy, and at the end of the day, the Almighty said there will be people in place who will not be the rightful people who have to make the right decision, but they will be there. So we just have to pray for them, and just be patient. Don't run out to patience, and keep your trust in the Almighty God. That's what I can say, sir.
All right, my brother. Thank you so very much.
Bless you.
All right, yes. And I do agree with my good brother there. Yeah, we had to pray for them. Yeah, we had to pray for. Serious, I don't understand what the chairman of the board of the housing authority talking about there. We seriously had to pray for them. Yeah, I agree with him. We've got a call online. Good night.
Hey, good night, Brother Sheldon.
Good night, bro.
How are you, man?
Hey, I'm quite fine. You go right ahead.
Yeah, Brother Sheldon, when you look at this government, and what is government doing towards poor people is making life much more difficult for poor people. Where the government could have come with a different solution, okay? Where the people that are giving problem to pay, right? You meet with them, sit down with them, and speak to them to find out what is the problem, right? And if you have a problem, things get difficult for them to pay, because when you look at the situation in Brother Sheldon, with cost of living going up, light bill going up, water bill going up, food bill going up, everything going up. So what you find happen? People having less money in the hand to do what they have to do, right? So they don't know what is the problem. So what they should do? Meet with the people that get the problem to pay, and sit down and talk with them to see what other solution they could come up. If they could say, well, yes, you have to pay 250, okay, right? And but things get hard, and you cannot pay 250. So then it's a 150 and 150 or $200. You understand? I got a haircut. So they make it easier for the people, because the people in the house, and they feel comfortable. And now you're telling them no, they have to give up what they had, right? And they have to reapply again, Brother Sheldon. And then what the government do? They know definitely, and what they consider the people in that house, if that they are not good enough to be in that house, right? So give them, they have to go in the bank and get a loan. Brother Sheldon, someone at the age of 45, 50, as the chairman was saying, give 30 years. Who financial institution go give a loan? When you, by the time 10 years, 15 years, you reach in 60 when you retire. Who will give a loan for 50 or $77,000? Who financial institution going to give you that? So what this government is doing, they give the people a letter, knowing that the people would not get the loan when they will go into the financial institution. So they go come down like, okay, like, they do what they do is saying the problem is not the problem is the financial institution problem. But actually, from time this government come into power, what they doing to poor people is more pressure, pressure and pressure upon the poor class of people. Right? So they had a plan to give the friend, the big shot, the middle shot group of people, the house, and then they will build something else for them if they would it. Because they were saying they're going to build in the campaign, they're going to build over 500 houses in every constituency. So like they want the money to get to do something else. Because remember in the housing, the 2,000 housing that the government said in 2008 was the Minister of Health at the time, Glenwell. The Minister of Housing, Glenwell, said to the Chinese, give them back 1,000 houses, and the money they go get the money to do something else. So they go build 1,000 houses. But actually, when you check the government, this government is trying to deprive the Ghanaian people, especially the poor people, to live in a good and comfortable home. Because like that home is too good for the people, so they want to give the friend. Well, Sheldon, I already say the poor will always be with us, and every government duty is to reach out and to help the poor people. The government, they don't help the poor people. Who they help in the big shot friend. Well, Sheldon, have a better night.
All right, thank you. 4407377, that's the number for you to call and get on to the inside. I know I have not forgotten. Yeah, I have not forgotten. All right, nice. Yeah. So, Devin James is asking, was he in Grenada between 2004 and 2005? No, Papa. Apparently, he wasn't here to see the tarpaulin house that some people was living in. Yeah, they had to nail up a little thing and the tarpaulin they get. They put it around it and that's what they was staying in. Yeah? A lot of people is only now they're getting back on foot and thing from since Hurricane Ivan. Yeah. So it was not a case that government was sitting and waiting. It was a case of you had a proactive government that realized that you had an issue and you got that, you got the houses. You had diplomatic relations established with the People's Republic of China. The People's Republic of China gifted Grenada. We're going to give you 2,000 houses. We're going to rebuild the stadia for you and other assistance that they gave to the people and of Grenada. Yeah? So it wasn't a case. I mean, in fact, I don't even have to argue it because those of you that are here, you all are intelligent and understanding enough to know what the case is. All right? A little later on, we won't give you a blast from the past. I'll let you know. But remember, I was telling you all that what the money is going to be used for. They need that cash infusion. And again, they continue to give the impression that the Housing Authority is deep in debt and all this kind of thing. And that ain't really the case. Anyway, but we go talk about that one the next day. I need to just check back for a report and read. All right? Yeah, before I come on that one. But have a look at this, right? Because the Housing Authority is looking for a quantity surveyor. So Housing Authority of Grenada is seeking to employ a quantity surveyor for Project 500, which is a special housing initiative. The successful candidate will be responsible for managing the commercial aspects of a residential project, from procuring of packages through to agreeing payments. All right, so they have to carry out all the duties, quantity surveying, including measurement, procurement, cost monitoring, cost control, and all of these things. So they are looking for various people to carry out various roles within the Housing Authority for this new project that they're coming with. They're also looking for a finance officer. I wonder which money that finance officer is going to be dealing with. Yeah, that finance officer would be looking at things like the Housing Authority, right? The key responsibilities, banking and cash management. The same cash they're trying to get from those people right now. That is the cash that they're talking about. The cash forecasting and reporting, ensure cash. No, it's important to do these things if you're doing a project. But be honest, say that is why you're trying to get the money up front, because you're speaking no less than $33 million that they're seeking to get from the sale of these houses. We've got a call online. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, caller. Go right ahead.
Yes. I was wondering or thinking that housing officer, the chairman, he wasn't living in Grenada at the time when we were going through all those problems after Ivan.
I feel.
So he does not know what Grenada went through.
I stay without electricity for a year.
and he should glad that that happened, so he could sit down now and make decision on how to run it because he get it ready made. That is not something he work hard and provide. He had no part in that, so he should shut up and do something better. You see, these people are so ungrateful. He just come from the diaspora and he get a job. He sit down in a hefty place and he could make decision how things should run. What somebody else work hard and provide. That is why I see sometimes some parents, they don't leave anything for children when they die, after they die, you know. Like make a will and them kind of thing. So he get a will and he don't know how to use it. Why these people and them don't turn themselves around? Why these things angry me, you know?
Don't let it run your blood pressure up, my dear.
No, but it was stupid. He was not wrong. You could see the way he speak, he was not wrong. He get it done. Ready done. They call you back from the diaspora where you were, and you come and you sit in the chair, and you just dishing out how you think it should be. You didn't prepare for that. You didn't prepare it. It was prepared for the low-income people. You understand? It's already day is coming.
All right, my dear. Thank you for your input. All right. Yes, indeed, folks. Yeah, you know what? I think I want to, it's now 9 minutes after the of 9 o'clock, yeah? And you know what, boy? Let me open my envelope and let me see what I've got here. Yeah, so last night we saw a contract in relation to Mr. Jerry Eno, who we hear is the boyfriend of the MP for up there and them kind of, we hear that, right? Nice. Now, I've also heard that there are some other contracts that are going through the Ministry of Agriculture. I hear one for $10,000 a month for one person, all sorts of things like that. That's the kind of thing I hear taking place there. So, let me just take this call quickly. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night.
Good night.
Good night, Brother Scott.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
Go right ahead.
I have a question to ask.
Mm-hmm.
When the people, let's say 5 people go to the bank, let's say the financial institution to get that money, and afterwards, let's say 3 cannot pay for that, pay back that loan. Who become the sole owner of that, of
the bank,
of the housing authority,
the
of
bank.
that place is in?
The bank takes it.
The bank.
Yeah.
So the bank is able to just go in and shut down the apartment from them people to see if they get back the money somehow.
Yeah, they can take it and sell it.
They can take it from the people and sell it to anybody they want.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is what are my greatest concern.
Mm-hmm.
Because I to me, I might see might create a problem in the long term.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to ask.
Yes, sir. No problem. Right, folks. 440. In fact, let's hold on the calls for a little while, and let me just pull up something here. Many of you may remember, and let me just make sure. Yeah, I just want to make sure that I have everything in order here. Many of you may remember back in 2021, right? The new executive of the National Democratic Congress. Yeah, you see them there. You see all that is Mr. Gavin there, Gavin Pierre thing. You see Orlando Romain, all these people and them here that form the executive of the NDC. You see here floor member, Mr. Gavin Pierre. Interesting name, huh? Because that name, my friends, that name is now showing up on a contract as well. Yeah, I realize that Mr. Gavin Pierre get a contract, a big lash contract too, brother. Yeah, let me see. I wonder how much that is about. Yeah, 5,700 a month. Yeah, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's why they ain't calling out these contracts and they ain't letting you know about these contracts. Yeah? So they're not letting you know about these contracts. So this one, right, is again in the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Fisheries, and so another contract for service. All right, Mr. Gavin Pierre, you saw his name just now. He is not a floor member of the NDC right now. Let me make that clear. He did not return as an executive member of the NDC at their convention in 2023, right? But he was an executive member of the NDC and still is an activist on behalf of the NDC. So he has now gotten his contract too, boy. Yeah, jobs to the boys, right? Through the same thing they accuse NNP of. So he's offering services in the poultry development area for 1 year, 68,400 per annum. All right, yeah, man. So he getting that too. Right, yeah. So who's the permanent secretary there? Lindona Helen Marshall, Mrs. Okay, right, yeah. So he get a contract too. All right, yeah. The same thing they don't want to tell the NNP because these big lasher contracts passing left, right, and center. Yeah, these big lasher contracts are passing left, right, and center. So this one getting roughly $5,700 a month. Right, nice. I don't know if this one working somewhere else, but we hear that the one who gain the 5,007, the other one there, we hear he working, yeah, he have another job where he gain how much thousand on a monthly basis anyway, and then he get this one now from the government where he also gain 5,000 something. But say what? Yeah, that's how the thing go. All right, yeah, that's how the thing go now. So this one is being brought in as the, what is it now? The Poultry Development Officer. Yeah? So they gave here the background and they gave the rationale and everything for the Poultry Development Officer. I don't know if poultry. As long as they don't put the person who is the Minister of Housing as the Poultry Development Officer, I think we might be kind of okay. Because all you know what has happened with chicken farmer. So don't put that one there at all. You understand? But I'm seeing here, let me just go over this document. Yeah, let me just go over the document here. So I'm seeing here that this individual is going to be paid that. The contract took effect last year. Last year, yeah, that's November. Yeah, it took effect last year because it's with 1 year with effect from November 14, 2022. Yeah, unless they make a mistake on the contract. No, yeah, well, that is 2022. So, yeah, this person has been on the job a while now. All right, yeah, so there's the next one again. You understand? Yeah, tell all the envelope thing in it, yeah. Because Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell asked this administration to provide this information to him. He said to them, give a list of who were the transition leads and the advisors and other people hired within the service from the time that the NDC administration came into office on the 23rd of June 2022. They have been dancing merengue and all kind of thing around the question and not answering it. They dancing maypole inside, outside, and trying to tie him up. Up to now, they have not answered the question, but piece by piece, the information dropping in envelopes in the road and all kind of thing. You're just walking in the road and they're kicking envelope. Whoops. You're kicking envelope and all kind of thing inside it. So I'm asking of the NDC administration if there's any truth to the document that I have here. Yeah? Is it realistic? Is it true? Did somebody give me a false document? Yeah? Or is it a truthful document? Did this senior person within the NDC at one point in time, yeah, get a contract for that kind of thing? You understand? Yeah. I mean, other things there, yeah, we could show other things too, yeah. Let me see if I can and pull this up there. Yeah, you understand? Let me see here. You understand? Disagreement. Right, you have another. Oh, there's another contract here, right? So this one is for this year, 2023, between the government of Grenada, represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Fisheries and Cooperatives, herein called the government of one part, and Mr. Gavin Pierre herein called the contractor of the other part. And meanwhile, a lot of you who went on campaign with the NDC are still looking for a job, but who have the substantive job and they're now working for over $5,000 a month on top of that as an advisor. But they have the substantive job still, eh? Yeah, plus they're on board of directors and so. Yeah, meanwhile, some all is still waiting, eh? Yeah, all went 3 o'clock election morning, all was outside going to make sure all you do all you had to do. But all you waiting still. All right, nice, yeah. So we see here, right, the nature of the services, the terms of things. So this is a second bit of information that we got there in relation to this thing. For information in relation to these contracts, and I'm asking, why is the government so afraid to just let people know that you hire these people and how much they're being paid? I remember during the period of the last NDC administration, a similar question had been asked by the then leader of the opposition and so on, had been asked about which advisor had been hired and that sort of thing. And the then NDC, under Mr. Tillman Thomas, ensured that a full list was provided. You knew everybody who came in as advisor, and down to drivers and secretary, everybody that they brought in. They gave you a full list. They told you the salary that these people were working for and all of that sort of thing. This administration keep ducking it, and I'm wondering why. Because, for instance, I would like to know what the salary of the executive secretary to the prime minister is. Because we see the prime minister in Qatar, he go to the executive secretary. He go to the United Nations, he go to the press secretary and executive secretary. I don't know if he carrying the cameraman with him still. Because, you know, he used to move like Beyonce. Everywhere they go in that to walk with their own paparazzi. So I don't know if he go in with them still in all these things. Or if they stop, since we talk about it, if they stop. But I know that that was the way that they were operating. They went to the Queen's funeral or the coronation. It was, yeah, they make sure they go with the cameraman, all them kind of thing. So you have to find out who these people are as advisors and what is being paid to them. And is there a necessity for these advisors, considering the amount of technocrats you already have within the system? Is there a necessity to bring in these individuals at these kind of salaries, $5,000 and $6,000 and $7,000, even $10,000 a month in some instances? Is it necessary to bring in these people into the system as it is right now with these big contracts, or are you all just providing jobs to the boys? Yeah? So, Mr. Pierre, I know. I know, Papa. I had to ask the question, you know. Yeah, I had to ask them question. You understand? Yeah, we had to ask them question. You understand? Let me see what else I see here, boy. Yeah, I know that all you could get. No, I ain't emptying the envelope tonight. We go talk tomorrow night again. Right? Yeah, it have more thing in the envelope. So we gonna talk tomorrow night about what else is in the envelope and them kind of thing. All right? So we're seeing everything here, you know. Yeah, we're seeing everything here. You're seeing everything here. All right? Nice. You could tell me if the signatures there is fake. Yeah, tell me if it's fake. Let me know if the signatures that we're seeing here are fake. Let me know. If the stamp and everything that we're seeing there, the document that is before me, is fake, let us know. And therefore we shall know not to use that document again and apologize. If it's fake, let us know. Yeah? But is there really a necessity for these rings of advisors? Every minister having about 2 and 3 advisors and they're just refusing to announce or tell people that they have these advisors. Sometimes when people talk is when you know there's advisor and specialists in this and that working with the government of Grenada. Yeah? And they used to accuse NNP are much worse than that. Yeah, but you don't hear people talking out there and saying anything now. All of the different arms out there, you don't hear the media reporting on these things. Well, certain pieces of the media are not going to report on those kind of things. They're not going to report that you have this one as an advisor and that one as an advisor. They're not reporting on those things. Yeah? At these exorbitant salaries, are they really necessary? Are these advisors who just happen to be either present or recent executive members of the National Democratic Congress? I don't know if he's still an executive member. I'm an invitee. I don't know. I don't know if he's an executive member up there in St. Andrew or some other area or whatever. I don't know. But I'm saying that these rings of advisors for these hefty salaries and so on, that we see keep popping up every now and again. Because they ain't telling you it, they're just hiring. You remember you saw the first thing there, that is November last year, then you see another thing for May this year and all these things. Right? You see these things popping up. And we have to ask ourselves, is there a necessity for these? Next, just now you go hear about one for Project 500 too. Just now you might hear about one for that. Yeah? Folks, let's open back the phone lines. 440, because we have roughly just a little over half an hour we have remaining. 440-7377. Yeah, don't call my name again. I told you all already. Yeah? That I am a target. Talking Points is a target. Only realized they started already. I told you all because I could read them. Yeah, I just read them like a romance novel. I know what coming next. All right? Yeah? I know what is coming next. So, folks, 440-7377. That is the number for you to call and get onto the inside. You know, Gavin, I have a song to play for you instead in here. I find you might like this song instead, yeah.
Love this life. Say what?
It must be nice. $5,000 a month. Wow.
Tell us something now. Why men should die?
440-7377. And yes, I see one listener asking if when the contract was in place, he was a part of the NDC executive. Yes, he was a floor member of the NDC when he was given that contract for $5,500. We've seen other members and associates of the NDC getting security contracts for tens of thousands of dollars on a monthly basis. We've seen others getting their contracts for this and advisor in that and all sorts of things. If that is not nepotism, tell me what is. Not who is the best for the job, but who within NDC closest to you to get the job. We've got a call online. Good night. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, good night, caller. You're live. Go right ahead.
You only love what they love.
Hey?
You only love what they love. Scott.
Yes, sir. I've heard you, man.
Yeah.
All right, my brother. Thank you. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. I wonder if my other phone line is having that problem now, too. We've got a call online. Good night.
Good night, Sheldon. How are you?
Hey, I'm quite fine.
Okay. Sheldon, I heard Miss Mullet on a program sometime today.
Mm-hmm.
And the housing project was being mentioned. She did mention it. But there was this caller who called and said that he listened to the chairman of the housing authority, and he made mention that if the owner of a house dies, the house goes back to, I shouldn't say house, but the unit or the condominium or how they want to call it. Well, they say, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said that it goes back to the government. Can you give some explanation on that? Because
okay, I listened to him, and I could tell you, I listened to him carefully. And what he said in relation to that is in phase 1 of the project, the agreement was between the government of Grenada and an individual. And if that individual died, then the house would go back into the pool. Okay. So the housing authority would decide if they, for instance, if you are living there, if somebody's living there with their children and that person goes to the great beyond, then the children can apply to the housing authority to have it changed to their name. Because remember, the name that's there The name that's there is the name of the person that died. So what he was saying is that with phase 1, that's how it is. If the person dies or anything, they can't just transfer it to somebody else. But in phase 2, that they can just transfer it to whoever.
Okay.
It becomes part of their
I
estate.
understand, right.
Yeah.
So it means that for phase 2 now, you are now the owner.
Yeah.
So you can do it whatever you want once you want to purchase it.
You could sell it the next day.
Yeah. But based on that agreement which you have discussed before, people go to the financial unit to see if they can get get loans. So on this thing, it won't work, As far as I see, about 80 to 90% of those units will be going to the people in the diaspora. Believe to me. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Yeah. About 80 to 90% of those units would go to the people in the diaspora because those are the people who would pay easily. That is why you see they have all this nonsense about going and coming back by the 17th, knowing fully well. Because how can you guarantee that someone who would go into 2 weeks and get an appointment because sometimes so many people go in there, you understand? I don't understand. But that is what is going to happen. Many of the people who would have gotten those letters, they would not get through with those loans. And the majority of it would go to the people in the diaspora. Okay, thank you.
All right, my brother, thank you. And I think 1 or 2 people were trying to reach us on the WhatsApp. Let me just call back. We do that here. So I'm just going to call back to see if I can contact them. All right, so we're going to call back the folks on the WhatsApp. Yes, all on the WhatsApp, answer all your phone. Meanwhile, 440-7377. Let me just make sure I clear the line. 440-7377. I think we've got the WhatsApp caller. Hello, good night. Hello.
Good night, Mr.
Yeah, I'm
good
here.
Night.
I'm here. I'm here, caller. You're live. Go right
yes.
ahead.
Yeah. This is my first time calling.
Okay.
And I listened to the gentleman from the housing authority.
Mm-hmm.
And I have never heard any more nonsense. This is someone who is representing Grenada, and he's talking like you could dictate the terms of the banking institution. Makes absolutely no sense.
Indeed, caller.
No.
But remember, this is a tendency of this government, because remember, they were dictating to the businesses that when they roll back the taxes at the port, that the businesses pass it on to the consumers. That didn't happen, but government lost 5 million.
Exactly.
So it's not the first time.
No. But I would say to you, you're doing a wonderful job. And I only started listening to you probably about a year ago, after the election.
Yeah.
And you're doing a wonderful job. And talk about intelligent, the NDC in the diaspora are the most hateful people. They look at NNP as not intellectual, not educated. And I would tell you, because I'm in the diaspora, I'd be around some of them, and there are people, a lot of people in Grenada do much better. I'm talking about folks that on the street in the diaspora Grenadians, and the NDC, you pass around, could I get $1? Could you buy me a roti? But at the same time, these same people is saying that Grenadians in Grenada, what's the terminology they use? Hungry.
Oh, the needy and the greedy. That's what they want to call
Needy
people.
and greedy.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this here. I wasn't prepared to make that call. It's my wife that made that call. Taken by surprise, you know. But they're more hungry and freaking greedy in the diaspora.
My goodness.
And I would say my name because I want them to know who I am. I'm Derek Isaac.
Okay.
I want them to know my name. I'm not scared. You know, there's a lot of them. I went to school in GBSS, and I know. Anyway, I'll call back another time.
No problem.
When my thoughts are together.
Right, no problem, my brother. Feel free anytime.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Yes, indeed. That's Derek. Right, so we know we have to shout out Derek on a nightly basis now. Molan and Margaret, good night to you. And good night to Patricia and Matthew out there in Canada. Good night to my good buddy Ian, who I know would like to be calling by the overseas line. Don't worry, we go fix that. And when you fix it, you're calling on everything. Yes, I'm going to make sure that it is up and working for you, my brother. All right, I'm just trying to call back one of the other persons that called us on the WhatsApp. Let's see if we get through to them. So we're calling, we give you the opportunity. We ain't ducking. We're giving you the opportunity to talk. Nice. Yeah. But that housing thing, they want us to stay away from that. They don't want us to focus on that. They want us to focus on other things. They also do not want us to focus any attention on the Kimpton by Kawana. What has happened there? They don't want us to place any focus or attention there. Because again, as I've told you all, it is not truthful to give the impression that Grenada is only going to pay 22 million US. That is not true. Yeah? There was a good case. Grenada had a good case. Grenada would definitely, had it gone to the tribunal, would have won. Yeah? You would have won. Unless they decided to purposely throw the case away, you would have won once the proper presentation had been made in relation to that case. But they decided to take the opportunity and pay off these people. We've heard the rumors in relation to these people having funded their campaign. We've heard those rumors. Yeah, we've heard it. That how much million was given to the NDC for the election campaign. We've heard those rumors. Yeah, so we find it strange that the case was just dropped. Yeah, we find that very strange. Nice. 44073. They don't want you to be discussing the fact that there are 214 individuals who have invested into that project, separate and apart from True Blue Development, that have to be paid. You're not hearing them talking about that. They ain't come back and hold no press conference. They're not mentioning that in all their back and forth. They're not mentioning these 214 people that now have to be paid. Some at least, and I'm saying at least because the least amount, 250,000 US, some of them 350,000 US per person. And at least $56 million would have to be spent there. Unless they can convince these people that take half of the investment, take half. And they'd have to get all 214 to agree to that. So let's see, because some people ain't going to realize, well, that man getting 350,000, why I can't get mine? Yeah? But they don't want us to be discussing that. They want us to focus on other things. In other words, they have been trying to place us on the defensive. And there is a strategy inclusive of attacking various elements, myself included, on the radio, on any opportunity they get to calling on different programs, in the newspaper, and online. We've got a caller online. Good night.
Good night, Sheldon.
Good night. I'm quite fine.
Sheldon, I was in the diaspora for 35 years, and I could tell you that 98% of the Grenadians that's in the diaspora, they cannot come back to Grenada because they have no way to go. I was in that position too until my company give me redundancy, and Margaret Thatcher helped us by. I was in a council flat, and they sell it for half the price, and I get that house. And after I pay out for it, I sell it and I come back to Grenada. Else I would have been still over there. So what some people are saying about, these people, the house is going to go to the people in the diaspora, I wouldn't doubt it. Because 98% can't come to, they can't even come on a holiday. So it's a true thing, right? And for this man to come and talk, I think he's misspoken. Because when we had Janet, we had what you used to call the Janet houses.
Yeah.
Right? Huh?
Yes, I saw one. There was one going up to Springs there.
Yeah.
Paddock. There was one on the left-hand side there for quite a while. I don't know if it's still there. I haven't looked for a
That's
while.
what we get from other countries. They come here and build this house for the people and them in Grenada.
Yeah, from Guyana, isn't it?
From Guyana. And, it smell a bit, but it's a way to live in. Right? So, when this man spoke here, all right, he must be he getting a good position, and he might have a nice house or whatsoever, and they don't like the poor people. So they go, he speak, I think he's misspoken for what he's saying. Because when you're in all other countries get helped to build back places when a disaster pass. And the way he speak there, he don't know what he's talking about. This because all he shouldn't be in such a place. As one woman say, he come from the diaspora. I don't know that, and I don't even want to know that. But they just don't like the poor people in Grenada, Finland. So have a good night.
All right. Thank you very much, caller. 440-7377. That's a 440-7377. Some big money passing, boy. I tell you.
Say what? Tell us something now. White men should die. Like nice.
We've got a call online. Good night. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I heard that Janet houses in La Poterie still.
They have some in La Poterie.
Yeah, La Poterie. La Poterie down below Tivoli.
Okay.
Yes.
I must look out for them. I haven't seen them, those down in that area, but I must look out for them. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, my brother. Thank you so very much. Yeah, I'm going to look out for those, yeah. And I think it's important that the younger ones know what these Janet houses are. They were brought up from Guyana after Hurricane Janet. I think that was 1955 or somewhere around there. I can't remember the exact year. I think it's 1955. Yeah, so Hurricane Janet passed by. You needed housing, and these houses were brought up from Guyana to assist Grenadians with housing. So it's not the first time. But to make that statement, again, as I said, shows a lack of understanding of the genesis of where those houses came from. Why those houses were negotiated. Why were they part of the deal? Yeah, you could have negotiated other things, You could have said you want a battleship. You could have said all kind of thing. But you negotiated housing because that was a need at that point in time. Yeah? That was a need at that point in time and still is a need for many Grenadians. All right? Now they're going to sell those houses, and the tens of millions that they're going to make out of that, they're going to put it into Project 500, which is where they're going to build 500 houses a year. Now again, those 500 houses a year that they're saying they're going to build, who are the people that are going to benefit from those houses? If it's public-private partnership, because it pretty much might be the same type of arrangement, again, in relation to getting one of those places. We've got a call online. Good night. Good night, caller. Hi, good night.
Good night.
Yes, my dear, you're live. Go right ahead.
You still have Giant House in River Sally?
Oh, River Sally has as well?
Yes, right opposite the Evangelical Church in River Sally.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, but dear, I have to look out for them. Well, it have Janet House all over still. I must look out for them. Them thing real last long.
Yes.
1950s
yes,
to now?
Yes.
All right, my dear. Yeah, so the 1950s to now, so they lasted quite a long time. Yes, that's very interesting. All right, 440-7377. That's 440-7377. That is the number to get on the inside. I'm just trying to pull up a video I have here, but I'm not seeing where it's disappeared.
They want to see us shooting each other, fighting my brother, cursing my sister. They want us to have a real big massacre, so they could knock us up.
And we've got a call online. Good night.
Hello.
Hi, good night.
Hello, good night.
Good night, brother.
How are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you doing?
Not bad, not bad. I had to discuss something with you, but I think I want to discuss that with you probably after the air.
Yeah, no
Sometime
problem.
tomorrow I may call you and tell you what I had to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, me. The houses you're talking about, the 500 houses per year. Didn't they say it's for just ordinary people, though?
Well, if they're doing it public-private partnership, I would think that if this one is straight government and they're asking people to pay up front, if it's government together with a private entity, I don't see it being a situation that it's going to be like the formula that took place for phase one of the housing project or so. They're going to use the same formula again, sell the houses.
No, the reason why I ask you that, because I remember hearing, I'm sure I didn't hear wrong, is that they said the 500 houses they will be building with swimming pool. Am I on track with that?
Yes, you're on track. I heard something similar.
Right, swimming pool. Tell me something. You ever see a poor person in Grenada have swimming pool?
Well,
swimming pool is a thing that you have to maintain. And the fact is that I want to know how much ministers right now have swimming pool at their home. You know, these things get you on night when they say a set of nonsense, talking a set of nonsense. The person again come talking about these houses, about government should provide or something like that, sir. These houses were given to you because of the hurricane that passed and wiped out the whole of Grenada. And they try to help you and give you something free. Why you should be paying $73,000 for $50,000 for a house? I can't see it. Yes, I could see that probably
but
you might give a thing for maintenance, whatever it is.
Even if you're paying
but
it, but up
houses
front.
are made to give people free.
But even if you want the person pay that, but to try and get them to pay it up front, and I think that's the main problem, you know. Some people don't mind paying the 55 or the 73,000, you know, over a period of time. But to ask them to pay it up front simply because you want the money to do your project 500 is unfair.
Sheldon, listen me something. Listen. How many persons right now that probably want a house could produce $50,000 or $70,000 right now? Some of them even have $1,000, much less for $50,000 and $60,000 and $70,000. You see the big boys that get in the money, they could do that. Not the small boys. You know, this thing, listen me, Sheldon, sometimes I don't want to listen to your program because I just get upset, real upset. A lot of nonsense stuff, and that doesn't make a sense. However, thank you for listening to me.
Of course,
and
my
probably
brother.
will hear me again.
All right, thank you.
Yes, brother.
Yes, indeed. And folks, you know what? Let me play a little. You know, these days are doing a little blast from the past kind of thing because I find a lot of what was being said before sounding kind of familiar. You know, let's hear what was taking place under the last NDC government when it came to housing. This is back in 2010. Let's hear what they had to say. Let me make sure I hear my audio. I have to make sure my audio up. Let's hear what they had to say.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Housing, Senator Glenn Noel, says government is seeking partnerships to provide affordable housing for people of Grenada. And following recent negotiations, they now have 3 proposals on the table. With government's limited space to access loans and lack of interest from the private sector for projects that do not guarantee quick returns, Senator Noel says he has been meeting with overseas companies to find solutions. Senator Noel was addressing a media conference at the ministerial complex on Tuesday.
We met with Ambiente Housing out of Milwaukee in the United States,
and they are proposing to use recycled glass, to recycle glass bottles, ceramic tiles, everything, and crush it and get it back into a sand product. They also add some resin and some other material and turn it into a brick-like structure with some panels. And they are guaranteeing that that is durable for 60 years. It is mold resistant, it is fire resistant, it is hurricane resistant.
The proposal from this company includes a multi-million-dollar investment on the Sandino complex site in Grand Anse.
They want to build a factory in Grenada at the Sandino site, an investment of over 17 million US dollars. The plant will be able to produce approximately 1,000 houses in 1 year. They also hope to not only supply the Grenada market, but the Caribbean market on a whole. If that plan comes into fruition, it is expected to employ over 200 persons in terms of, at the factory level, producing houses.
Companies in neighboring Trinidad have also put forward proposals to invest in Grenada, he says.
I visited Trinidad recently and have been engaged in discussions with a company called Tiaco. It is actually the Thermal Impact Affordable Homes Limited. And they too have invested and come up with a technology where they'll be using some panels, and they have done quite a lot of work in Trinidad and several parts of the world. They want to also invest in Grenada. The plant that they hope to build will cost about 8 million US dollars. We have gone through the whole process of the show house, and in fact, what they want to do is to set up 2 show houses at Dunfermline, which they themselves would finance, and at the completion of it, when the people will have seen what it looked like, the government will buy it over from them. We have also engaged in discussion with Lewis Construction out of Trinidad. Again, is a very prominent construction firm that has done quite a lot of work, built thousands of homes in Trinidad itself. And they are preparing a proposal that they will present to us.
Senator Noel also said they will be targeting the working class of teachers, nurses, policemen and other professionals that can afford a mortgage, and a pre-approved list will be prepared as part of the negotiations.
Now folks, does that sound kind of familiar? Instead of 1,000 a year, they've gone to 500 a year now. They're looking for public-private partnerships. Glenn Noel back then was able to tell us, well, sorry, let me be respectful. Ambassador Noel was able to tell us which are the companies out of Trinidad and so on, and I think the states that had applied and said they would be willing to come, work along with government and build out these houses. And then at the end of it, you heard who the categories of people were. Yeah, not no Imani trainees and all these kind of thing, young people and thing, no. Nurses and police officers and these kind of people there. Yeah, we have a call online. Hello, good night.
Sheldon, good night.
Good night.
Well, I was planning to just listen to you tonight, but when I heard that clip, what I wanted to find out was whether that that plant, the Sandino plant, was before or after they sold it to NIS. Because Housing Authority owned that property. It was owned by the Housing Authority of Grenada.
Was owned.
Was owned.
Right.
The NDC government made the Housing Authority sign the property back to them, to the government, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they sold it to the NIS. You know when they're having problems paying salaries on the 66th of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And Housing Authority was asked to pay a rent. In fact, they're still paying a rent to NIS for that property.
So
that was theirs.
So Housing Authority does not own Sandino right now. It belongs to the National Insurance Scheme.
National Insurance Scheme owns Sandino.
Mm-hmm.
And as we speak, Housing Authority pays a rent to the NIS for the property that was theirs. That was done under the NDC government. Right?
So Massa Bull sell Massa calf to Massa cow and then take it back and charge rent for it.
They asked people to sign the thing back to government so that they could sell it. And now NIS is going to build a complex, right? I guess similar to what's happening opposite to where they are, where the Housing Authority is. They're going to build a multi-story complex.
Do you remember that there was a plan back again under the last NDC to build a complex in that location?
Yes, I remember.
In fact, that had been headed by the chairman of the Housing Authority at that point in time.
The chairman that proposed that?
Yeah.
I remember that clearly. So NIS is going to build it, and Housing Authority will have to find a place to go or to rent. So it's very possible that the selling of the houses is intended to give money to Housing Authority so they could buy a place to go, because that NIS have indicated to them that they need their property, right? So this mix-up thing, people don't really understand what's happening. The question I have again is in regard to this 500 houses. Would it be low income? Would it be middle income? Somebody told me, in fact, we are exchanging thoughts on Facebook, and a gentleman told me that the government negotiated with the financial institutions to give 100% financing to people who are interested in getting a loan to buy the houses at between 3 to 5%. Because I was saying to him then that in order to get a loan, almost every financial institution requires you to have a stake, to put something in. But he told me, no, it's 100% financing. So if that's the case, it means that those persons would have to put more money out in the long run. Because if you get 100% financing, you are paying back the entire figure. If you put 10%, you're paying back 90% of the figure. I also heard, a little bird said to me, that the plan is to put the houses outside of the reach of those people it was intended for. So that after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, when they can't take it up, those persons who, you're calling them diaspora people. I mean, when people used to call them JCB, they got vexed, right? I mean, all it meant is that you just came back, but they never liked the term. Those persons who don't have any place to stay, but they want to come to Grenada every year for vacation, they could raise $50,000. So they raise the monies and will find that most of these houses would be taken up by people who do not permanently reside in Grenada. I'm saying it again. Most of these houses would end up in the hands of those persons who do not permanently reside in Grenada. You know, there was talk to give them the privilege to vote. You remember that?
Well,
you know, there's talk.
There is a discussion. There's a discussion taking place in relation to that.
Exactly. So
that they can stay overseas and vote.
So we have to keep our eyes and our ears open. We have to keep our eyes and our ears open. These guys have their things all planned out, right? And they believe that they know that Grenadians, those of us who live in here, would give them what they deserve. The House scholar said one tongue. The chance of survival is hinged on those people who don't live here getting an opportunity to vote. And I'm not a prophet. I'm just saying we should keep our eyes and our ears open.
Of course.
It's a deliberate ploy to put these houses outside of the reach of the people who need it. And if Grenadians, those of us who are here, don't see through these things that these guys are doing, then something is wrong with us. If we don't see through it, because it's like they're on a mission to show us that they are breaking the promises, like on a mission. And I'm saying, smart politicians, there are some things smart politicians would do and some things they wouldn't do. Eric Machugeri used housing to cement his hold on power in Grenada. Bonnet, Grandans, those houses, people who got these houses voted GLP, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because
You created enclaves.
exactly. So when a government shows the citizens that we don't care about you, we prefer people who do not live here to get those houses. What they're saying to you is that we really don't need you guys to remain in power. We have other things planned. So if
And I don't want it to go out there that we have a problem with Grenadians overseas. And Grenadians, you're home or you're overseas, no problem. We love you still. Yeah, because some of us, we spend our time overseas as well. But there has to be an understanding of the reasoning and the entire concept behind these housing projects and what they were meant for. So it should not end up going the direction that it's going right now.
you know, I was a director on Grenada Development Bank board also.
Mm-hmm.
And when the bank decided to get involved in housing loans, people had problems with it. They were saying, let the guys who want to build houses go to the commercial banks. Let the monies in the GDP be used for those persons who cannot access loans in the commercial banks. Now, that argument was made then. So it's not that I'm saying that people in the diaspora should not have an opportunity to own a home, but I'm saying we always have to try to remember the reason why those houses were given and were built.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get away from that. If these are your target groups, then ensure that you cater for your target groups. So it baffles me because it seems as if these guys, I usually say, if I was a preacher, if someone else preaches, I'm going to hell and I don't care. To preach to those people who know they're doing wrong and they're not making any effort to do better, it's like they're going to hell and they don't care. So it's like these guys are saying, look, I don't care what you guys want to say. You could say, that's where I'm going, and that's where I'm going. So let our people be mindful of the fact that the records would show that the only government that genuinely cares for its people is the New National Party. And it's not because I'm an NNP, but because the facts are there to show it.
Mm-hmm.
Sheldon.
And I'm quickly running out of time because you know how it
I'm
goes.
wrapping up now. Business people are saying that the only time they comfortably made money was when the National Party was in office.
Mm-hmm.
And they're seeing it right now. I took sufficient time of yours. I will call some other time.
Not telling you again your time, but tonight I have to run.
I know. Okay, take care. Good night.
All right, thank you so very much, my brother.
Bye-bye.
Always good having his input in relation to these matters because he's very clear on what should have obtained when it comes to these houses and the financing and everything. And indeed, I feel I might have to zoom him in one day and do a full interview with him on this thing. You know, I feel sometime next week or so we will call him on Zoom and we're going to do a little full interview in relation to this thing. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. Remember to like and share before you leave. Like and share. And even if you're watching now, not live, but afterwards, remember to like and share. If you're on YouTube, just like. If you're on Facebook, like and share the live. Folks, that's all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. And everything you say and do, Do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Love each and every one of you. I am out.
Cost of living keep on rising, so could someone try and tell me what is happening? Because yet them politicians keep preaching for the poor ones they are fighting, but not such a thing. Because every day when I make a pass by the shop, I could see the price keep going up on the poor ones down. And the wages, like it's mason men that believe, and like no one they can break it, so they condemn me. Because every day when I make a pass by the shop,